Today I'm going to show you how to change your battery in a Garmin Fenix 5X. After doing some research around the Garmin forums and the Garmin website, they mentioned that these watches, the battery life is just supposed to be a few years, and then things start crapping out. A few weeks ago, mine was about at 50% battery life, and I decided to replace it, and actually found a direct Garmin replacement off Aliexpress, and I actually swapped it out and it worked. But anyways, here's what the original battery in my 5X looked like. Right now there's a replacement battery in here, and it appears to be working fine. To do this, I had a small tool set here. It's got a lot of the random small delicate bit sizes, and I'll put a link in the description or something for where you can get the kind of tools you need here. But anyways, I'll just be using this today. I can't remember, I might need another bit out of here. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But today I'm going to be replacing the battery with this other brand of battery, and this could be risky. I might brick my watch, but you know, you'll just be this should just be interesting. I have no idea what to expect, but here's the original battery next to this HSA bat. I have no idea what to expect. Could go wrong, might go fine, I have no idea. But the main difference between these is that the original Garmin is 430 milliamp hours and the HSA bat is 600 milliamp hours. But anyways, before I begin, I have to shut off my watch, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and give it a few seconds to power down. I was pleasantly surprised with that success of the first battery change out, so I'm going to try and go big and go with this 600 milliamp hour and see what happens. But anyways, my watch is powered down. I'm going to start unscrewing things, and from previous experience I found out the best way to do this is from the top. And in addition to these small bits, you also need a very fine pair of tweezers. I happen to have a pretty good pair from a cell phone repair kit I recently bought. Anyways, these are pretty sharp. You can risk poking something that you might not supposed to be poking once you open this up, but if you're careful and they're really fine tip, you can do this pretty well. The big point is that they need to be fine tipped, and I also might use this I think it's called a spudger tool or something. I'll set that aside there just in case the need for that comes up. But anyways, there's 5 screws at the front here, and I'm just going to use my plastic tray as the screw holder. But anyways, I'm going to dig in. I'm going to get these 5 screws out, and then I'll remember what I did with the circuit board section, the circuit board connectors and things here. So there's my 5 screws out. This watch, actually I'm going to take these off as well. This watch is ready to come apart. Let's see here. So I'm going to gently pry up on this. Alright. The first time you take this apart, it might be a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than what I'm doing right now. Mainly because I opened this up about a month or 2 ago. Anyways, what you're going to see, you got to be careful. You have to figure out which way the ribbon cable kind of folds when you open this. So with the Garmin logo on the bottom left there, it looks like well, let me try it like this. We'll do Garmin logo upward. I'm going to flip this open to the left a little bit. I'm trying to be really gentle. But anyways, you can see the ribbon cable for the screen. You have to be really careful. But anyways, I have to remove this ribbon cable. So you might have better luck with, you know, something a little bit wider, but I don't know, I'm pretty careful. I'm grabbing the edge and I'm just lifting up on that harness right there, and the screen comes off. And one thing you'll notice, the first time you take apart your Fenix 5X, there's actually going to be some green protective plastic over that. When I took this apart for the first time, I couldn't get the little tiny film back on, and my Garmin's been working fine, so I haven't really stressed out about it. The next ribbon cable we have to remove, though, is this little battery cable down here, and this will be again, you're just gonna need to grab, you know, a really small part of that, and you want to make sure you don't contact on these ribbon cables these really fine pins here. Apologize for the kind of low camera quality. I'm just using an iPhone, and I can't really see when I'm aiming at the camera, so I haven't ever made a instructional video before, so thank you for being patient. Anyways, next you'll have to lift up this piece, and this piece is just kind of loose, and you have to remember the orientation of this when you put that back in, because those little conductive contacts on the back there need to go on top of those 3 contacts in the lower left. But anyways, we'll set that aside, and now I'm pretty certain it's time that we can remove the 2 screws. We have 1 screw right there and 1 screw right there, and if I remember right, these should be the same size as the screws on the outside. Nope, they are different. Let's see here. I think we're 1 size smaller, so I'm gonna get here. No, is that it? Let's see here. Okay, that should be it. So I'm going to set my bigger bit aside, get my smaller bit, and get these 2 inner circuit board screws out of here. And if I remember right, these screws are identical in length. So if you screw them up, if you mix the 2 up, I don't think you're going to have any problems, but I'm just going to tweezer these out. Also, I recommend minimizing the amount of espresso you drink before working with small electronics, because I'm a little bit shaky here. The caffeine's just kicking in this morning, so anyways, I got those 2 screws out, and it looks like, I'm going to try and get a close-up here of these screws as soon as I can grab one. The screws are basically identical, so if you mess them up, remember which one's which. It doesn't quite matter. This next part was a little bit tricky. You kind of have to get the circuit board out, and I think last time I just kind of guessed at a safe lifting point, and these are a little bit scratchy, so I got to be careful not to tear up the circuit board. But I'm gonna gently, nope, let's see here, I'm gonna try. Basically, this assembly comes out now that this battery connector is out. So the next step is basically to lift the board straight up. Anyways, I think last time, okay, I'm gonna lifting right here, being very gentle. There is a conductive strip around the edge of the circuit board, so I'm trying not to be too damaging. Again, I'm not exactly an expert with this, so as always, proceed with caution. But anyways, this comes right up. The way this works is, well, from my inexperienced perspective here, it looks like these 4 conductive posts here kind of land on these this conductive part of the circuit board here. So when we put this back together, you just have to make sure that there's really good mating in between there. But anyways, this part was the hard part. An interesting thing about this first replacement I bought, this is the original on the left, the replacement on the right. The original is from 2017 and the Aliexpress is from 2019, as you can kind of see on the lower right of the battery. This part was really difficult. So these batteries are stuck on with a very, very sticky tape inside here. And good God, was it hard to remove. And I don't know if this is the best method to do this, but I put my this assembly on, you know, an oven heating pad and just set it and put it on the oven, and I heated it up to about 120 degrees. And what that did was basically loosen the adhesive that's sandwiched in between the battery and the circuit board. My adhesive isn't that great, so once I remove that connector, I'm actually just going to show you, I'm just going to lift this out. It's a little bit difficult, but anyways, I would say the most difficult part of this is getting this freaking battery off of the circuit board. I use the oven a safer way, and then some cell phone battery repair kits online, they come with like some type of heating device you put in the microwave and you gently set it on and it gradually warms it up. That's probably a safer option. Remember, this part gets pretty dangerous here because, you know, this is what I assume is going to be a lithium phosphate battery, LiPo, and if you damage these, you know, there's risk of fire, explosion, you know, safety hazards, etc. So you have to be really careful. But anyways, with mine, I'm pretty confident my adhesive is worn out, so I'm just going to remove my little connector here, and you know, I'm going to be careful not to poke any insulation. But these, contrary to what you might expect, these lift straight up. And actually, I'm going to pause on this. I'm going to leave that in. I think it may have been easier to remove that once the battery's off. But anyways, I'm just going to try and peel this battery. Maybe I can get a fingernail underneath there. The first time you do this is probably not going to be this easy, but anyways, my connector just came straight off on that. I'm not exactly being gentle with this. But anyways, the way this connector goes is, you know, this pushes straight down. You don't slide it out. You know, you lift straight up. You know, that would be towards the camera in this case. But anyways, now that we have the old battery out, we can open up this HSA bat. And I'm going to inspect the connector. I gotta say, it's a pretty good match. Those connectors look identical. But let's see here. I just need to make sure I have this in the corner, and this is going to get folded over. You have to pay attention to how this connector is oriented, because let me get that into focus. You know, on one side it looks like there's kind of triangles. On the other side, you just have where one would stab kind of the two pins in off the PCB, and you can kind of see. Let's see here, let me get up close. There's two pins for this battery connector. Anyways, I'm going to try and center this battery as best as I can. You know, they're slightly different. They're shaped, excuse me, this battery is shaped slightly different than the Garmin one. So I'm hoping these corners don't give me any trouble. This is going to be a tight fit, I'm guessing. But anyways, we have what I believe that side goes down. I'm going to verify real fast. Okay. So if I do this right, this should just click on. Oh, do I have it backwards? Okay. I'm kind of fumbling through this. It's been a month since I tried this out. I'm kind of filming on the fly here. Let's see here. I think I remember having some difficulty getting this back in. There we go. We are halfway in. Just going to use this spudger tool to press it in a little bit. Okay. So I'm fairly confident that is good. Okay, I just had to go back and check my work for a second. The part with the connector that kind of looks like two triangles, that goes upward. So, as I may have said before, let's see here, there's kind of this side that you stab into, which goes downwards, and this side with the what resembles triangles goes upward. But anyways, my battery's connected. I'm going to get this back in place now. So now that I'm confident this is in, I hope my battery is nice and centered. I guess we'll find out in a minute. Looking back, I probably should be wearing gloves doing this so I don't get my finger oil all over this these connections here, but I'm going to try and not pinch any wires as I'm doing this. It looks like I have some slack there that could be a problem. Excuse me. Okay. This is probably going to take an adjustment or two because this battery is not rounded. It has corners. Oops, I'm going to fumble here for a minute. Okay, already it looks like I'm going to have to move this corner forward here. If you ever have to do this, just be cautious not to stick out past the edge of the corner on that. I think I'm going to end up having this end of the battery closer this way. So I got to be really careful. And while I'm doing this, I'm making sure my battery connector doesn't get caught underneath everything here. Alright, we're getting closer. This corner is kind of bumping into stuff, so I'm going to move my battery one more time. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Before I tuck this in, we get this connector upward. Come on. Working with delicate electronics can be extremely frustrating. So I hope you're a patient person if you're watching this. Okay. Getting closer. This thing is right on the edge of going in. I'm going to remove the seal here before I mess something up. Need to tip this up. Okay, I'm gonna put that end in first. There we go. Okay. So it goes in easier if you kind of get this end of the PCB in first. Anyways, I think, let's see here. I just have to make sure this is down all the way. And once I'm confident in that, I'm gonna try and press on the green part instead of the sensitive electronics there. I'm kind of roughhousing this a little bit, so let's see here. I'm gonna push down just a little bit more. Then I'm gonna get these 2 silver screws back in. Be cautious when retightening. I just about stripped one last time. So I'm gonna get these started. Then before I give them their final bit of torque, I'm gonna make sure everything's going down smoothly. Okay, the PCB, let's see, our little circuit board kind of went down a little bit further as I screwed this top one in. So I'm hoping this is low enough that I get good clearance to close this up. I gotta say, I think this is definitely a tighter fit because this battery connector seems, it's like, it's not quite stretching, but it's probably at its limit. Okay. I feel like I heard the click, so hopefully that's all the way engaged there. I'm gonna press down just a little bit more. Hope I don't hurt this thing. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's just hope there's enough room that I'm not tensioning that battery cable too much. Anyways, next, gotta get the gasket back on. One thing you gotta be careful is this gasket needs to be very clean before this goes in, to make sure that this remains nice and waterproof. What I would do is, you know, I cleaned mine pretty good last time, so it's actually quite clean right now, but I took a little one of those ear swabs and kind of made sure I didn't leave any cotton fibers around, but you just want to make sure that nothing is in the seal. No sand, not a piece of hair, nothing. And then, you know, if you have some suntan lotion or some grease or something around the edges, you know, I would personally recommend isopropyl alcohol or something, and, you know, be very cautious when cleaning. But anyways, I'm gonna get my gasket back in. I was considering replacing this, but it honestly looked brand new. And this watch is from kind of early 2017. So, but anyways, my gasket, this kind of O-ring seal around the end here, everything looks like it's in there good. So now I think it's safe to put the screen on. And this part's a little difficult because, you know, always be gentle with ribbon cables. You know, if you remember right, the red button is in the upper right and the Garmin logo's at the bottom, and it kind of matches with this ribbon cable. So what I'm going to do is kind of have the ribbon cable like this, and that ribbon cable goes into that rectangle, the black rectangle on the right side there. So same as before, but in reverse. Actually, before I proceed, this part's important. You know, we got to get this back in here. Those three pins go on those 3 pins there. And just make sure that's nice and flush. And sometimes I forget things. Remember, I'm not an expert in this. I just got it right when I did it the first time. So anyways, I'm going to get that ribbon cable for the screen back on. I'm going to try using my finger. I may have to use the spudger tool. Let's see here. Also, this helps if you're doing this in a well-lit environment. My office is a little dark. It's rainy today. And let's see here. Come on. All right. Nope. I'm not getting it. Okay. I'm going to try the tool, and I kind of have this pushing on it downward like this. The spudger tool is used, so the plastic is a little bit beat up, but anyways. I think I remember last time this being a pretty difficult part here. So, let's see here. Trying to get it close. If I had 3 pairs of hands, this would probably be a lot easier. Okay, I have to realign this part. Excuse me if I just put my head into the frame there. Like I said, I'm not a professional videographer. I just like to tinker with stuff when I can. Okay, so I got it in, I heard the click, and I'm pretty sure that's mated in there very nicely. So just one more time, I'm going to use the bottom side of this spudger here to push down on that connector. I'm going to push down on the battery connector one more time a little bit. And then I'm going to see if this thing closes. And I got to be careful. This is a very tight fit with that new battery. What a close shave that new battery is. Okay, I'm gonna press down just a hair on the PCB. Alrighty. Okay, with a little bit of compression, it looks like I'm making a seal all the way around okay. So I think we're safe to screw this back in. I'll switch to my larger bit and get these in loosely at first. I'm going to do the last part of the tightening, like tightening a tire on a car. You know, you kind of back this out. Okay, you kind of tighten the opposite ones down as you go around. know, while you're getting the first bits of the threads in, be cautious. You don't want to strip them. I look a little clumsy here, but I'm not really pushing down with a lot of force. I'm just kind of feeling and making sure that the screw bite's okay. Okay. Okay, and before I tighten this down all the way, I'm going to power it up, see if this battery has any charge in it. Oh, I don't think it does. Okay, I'm going to plug this in and put it on the charger here. Okay, I'm back with a small USB charger bank. So we have the Garmin light coming on, and here's our old 2 batteries, and inside of this is the new battery. So looks like things are loading watch face. All right, this battery has a 53% charge coming from the factory. Interesting. Well, anyways, I'm going to compress this a little bit more and do the final screw tightening, because I am at the limits for what I can pack inside of this, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this off again. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so I'm going to hit my light button. Oh, that's not my, okay, it's this one. There we go, power off. Okay, power this off one more time. Now that we know our connections are proved good. And first, I'm going to compress and tighten this one over here. Get this down to the bottom. Let's see, I'm going to go across the way here. This one's really loose. I'm going to do this one next. And I'm not cranking these down. I'm just doing it so the screws get flush. So like I said, I don't want to strip these things. You know, this material is probably stainless steel and can probably take quite a bit of abuse, but I'm just going to go just a teensy bit further than, you know, mating the ring to the main body of the watch here. Okay. And I'm going to go around and double check I didn't skip one. Okay, yep, that one's good. 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 And visually, I kind of want to look around this rim here and make sure I don't have a visible gap, because I don't want any gasket coming through that seal, you know, because I want this to retain its really nice waterproofness. You know, I don't think I'd be comfortable taking this down to 100 meters after taking it apart. However, the majority of my time using this watch is either going up the mountains on my legs or some occasional rock climbing. I don't wish to scuba dive with this. I mainly use this on land. Anyways, after all that rough housing, the watch is still coming online. I'm very happy how this turned out. I'll give an update to what I think of the actual capacity. Can't remember what I said at the beginning of this video, but my original battery life on the 2017 battery, the original, I think I had about 50% capacity. I had to recharge it every week, and with this replacement 2019 battery I put in a month ago, I was getting about maybe we'll say 9 to 10 days. So without doing any activities, I'll let you know how this battery fares, and who knows, maybe I'll get more than 2 weeks. I believe that's the standard length of time for, you know, if you don't do any tracking or whatever. But anyways, I'll put all the links and notes in the descriptions, and maybe a few pieces of advice that I missed with my, you know, just talking over the video as I do this. It's kind of difficult to focus on very small electronics and describe the process at the same time. There's like two different brain things going on there. Anyways, I hope you find this useful, and if you were like me and you had a very expensive watch, you didn't want to buy a new one, and you don't believe in watches being disposable, I hope you find this useful and you're able to change your own battery. I really think a good portion of people who can operate tweezers and a screwdriver can do this very carefully. But anyways, as always, proceed with caution, be careful, wear safety glasses, and be very, very cautious around these batteries, as they can hurt you, especially if they are punctured or damaged upon removal. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your day.